Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to sit down and tell you guys what's been going on with me, that sort of thing. So we're going to start with sorry if the lighting is bad, y'all. I was trying to find my additional light to go on top of my camera, but I couldn't find it, so we just have to work with this. And yeah, y'all see my hair is wild, but I don't care, you know, it don't look that bad. But anyways, so yeah, so okay, last week, I would say like the beginning of March, like March 5th, up in there, I was feeling like real bad, like I was having like real bad stomach pains. Like one night I couldn't go to sleep. It had to be like 11 o'clock at night. I was having real bad stomach pains, and I'm thinking, you know, maybe it's something minor, you know. So I took Pepto-Bismol, drunk some ginger ale, drunk Gatorade, and it went away. But then like a few days later, I started realizing like I didn't have no appetite, so I wasn't eating, and then I also wasn't sleeping. So I'm like, okay, something is going on. And I'm like, okay, I know my cycle supposed to come on like the next week, which is this week. So I'm like, maybe, you know, my body getting prepared for that. Sorry, I gotta reposition myself. Or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So then, you know, days went by. I was still like having real bad stomach pains or whatever. And like I said, I really didn't pay no mind or whatever. So one day I was at my mom's house. I had went over there and she had brought Firehouse stuff. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna try to eat, because mind you, I haven't really been eating for like 4 or 5 days, almost a whole week. And so I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna try to eat the sub. So y'all, when I bit the sub, it was good. I'm not gonna lie, it was good. And then so she ended up, keep calling me, she ended up going to Family Dollar for me to go get me some medicine, you know, like some Pepto-Bismol, like we doing process of elimination. So she went to the store, and when she was at the store, like 30 minutes after I bit a piece off of that Firehouse sub, y'all, I ran to the trash can and threw it up. And while I was throwing up, like I was sweating like real bad. I was shaking real bad. Like I didn't know what the hell my body was going through. So I told my mama, I called her and I was like, where you at? Cause I'm over here throwing up and I'm gonna just go to the emergency room. So she was like, see, I told you, you should have went. So she came back to the house or whatever. And I was gonna hold off from going to the hospital that night, because after I threw up, my stomach was feeling a little better, but I was still in pain. But I'm like, I could wait till in the morning. So after I gave it some thought that night, you know, it was 7 o'clock that night. I think, what night? Let me look at my calendar. Hold on, y'all. It's March 11th. So 7 o'clock that night, I went to the hospital down the street. So I went there, you know, I was waiting. It wasn't really too crowded. So when I went in there and the nurse asked me and was like, you know, okay, like, you know, what's going on while you in here? So I was telling her, you know, like I've been having like real bad cramps in my stomach. Like, y'all, and I never get cramps before I come on my cycle. So I'm like, Lord, is this coming with age? Like, is my body, you know what I'm saying, transitioning? Like, what is it? So she was like, and I was like, and I was supposed to come on my cycle, and I didn't come on, like 3 days late. And she's like, oh, well, first we're gonna take a pregnancy test. So I was like, okay, you know, not thinking nothing of it. So I took off all my clothes. They gave me a little gown thing or whatever. And excuse me, y'all. So I went to go, I peed on in the cup or whatever. And she was like, okay, well, we're gonna wait 3 to 5 minutes or whatever. So she went back out the room and went to go, I guess, like go put me in the system or something. She went to go do something, I don't know. So yeah, I'm just, you know, on my phone, just not really thinking nothing of it. So she came back all excited. She hopped on the bed, on my bed next to me, and she was like, congratulations. And I looked at her and I was like, are you serious? I'm like, no, this can't be. Like, are you serious? Like, I said, I just had my cycle in February. It was a total shock to me. It was a total shock to me. So that little clip that y'all just seen with the pregnancy test, yes, I was pregnant. So after that, she was like, okay, well, now we're gonna run ultrasound, you know, to see how far along are you, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, like I'm still in total shock. She was like, I'm gonna give you a minute to, you know, kind of take it all in. So I was like, okay. So she came back, well, the other lady came back to wheel me to do the ultrasound. So, you know, I'm still, my stomach's still hurting or whatever. And she was kind of saying like the reason why my stomach was kind of hurting, it could be because of my blood and the baby blood wasn't like meshing well together, something like that she was saying. I was listening, but I wasn't listening because I was, like I said, I was still like in total shock that I was pregnant. Sorry, y'all, it's hard for me to turn a little bit. They took me to the ultrasound room. You know, she put the stuff on my belly, and when she was rolling over my stomach, like the bottom part, like on the right side, that's where the pain was at. Like it was hurting right there. And she was steady, you know, just like pressing down on my stomach like this. I guess she, you know, she was doing her job. But I was like, okay. Then she ended up sticking the little probe thing up under me to also detect how far along I was. And when she stuck that thing up there in me, it didn't hurt. It was just cold. Like it caught me off guard. She didn't say, okay, it's gonna be a little cold. I'm like, dang, can you warn us, sister? But so yeah, she did that, and she probably did that for, I felt like about 30 minutes. So anyways, okay, she got done, and I went to the bathroom to clean myself up. They wheeled me back to the room, and that's when the doctor came in. So I'm like, oh shit. So he came in, you know, I'm thinking he finna tell me, you know, how far along, blah, blah, blah. No, he said that when they did the ultrasound, they didn't see the baby, and they ended up doing a CT scan. So
after the ultrasound, he told me I would have to have surgery, not after the CT scan. I'm sorry.
After the CT scan, and doctor was like that the baby was in my fallopian tube and that it had done ruptured. So now I had to end up having, like, I had to get rushed to another hospital so they could perform emergency surgery to get that out. So y'all, I just like, I lost it. Like when he walked out of the room, and I was just like, are you freaking serious? Like, really? I'm like, the one time I do get pregnant, like, I'm finna just lose my baby. So, now mind you, I'm at the hospital by myself. My mama asked if she asked, did I want her to come with me before I left, but I told her no, you know, I'd be all right. So I'm like, shit. So I'm just sitting there thinking. Now, when they told me, let me back up. So when they told me that I was pregnant, all this was running through my mind. I'm like, okay, Sin, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get on your A game now. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no plan. You gotta like grind. You finna start a new job, da. Girl. Then the 30 minutes later, they come hit me with that. So pretty much I had an ectopic pregnancy, which is where the baby got stuck in my tube and there wasn't really no way to save it. And I didn't know that was such a thing, honestly. That was my first time ever hearing that. So yeah, so they put me in the ambulance. They rushed me to Baptist downtown, and I ended up calling my mama so I could let her know what was going on. And then I was calling my cousin and them because they was calling trying to figure out what was going on with me because I told them I was going to the hospital. So and then I called Tony and told him, and he started crying, and I hadn't already started crying. So y'all, I broke. When my mom and Tony had came to the hospital downtown, I was telling Tony, you know what I'm saying, what they was telling me, and I just like broke down crying because it was hard for me because I'm 28, and if you know me, you know I've always talked about having a family. You know what I'm saying? I always said, you know, I'll either go to the damn sperm bank and have my child. Like, I don't need, you know what I'm saying, a male figure, because I want a child, you know what I'm saying. And I feel like the child would have completed me, if that makes sense. I know that may sound crazy to some of y'all, but I'm just saying that's just how I feel. And two, I didn't want to be old having a baby. Like, I'm gonna be 29 this year. 29. I'm trying not to cry, y'all, because this is very hard for me to really talk about, honestly. So yeah, after the OBGYN came in and gave me the rundown, then they wheeled me to the OR room. They wiped me down and everything. They had 2 IVs in my arms. I had to take off, you know, my glasses, my nose ring, my jewelry. And I was nervous because I never had like a surgery like that. Never. So this was a first for me. So, you know, I was just letting them know, like, you know, like, I'm nervous or whatever. And then, so they was giving me all these papers to sign. And then, of course, they gave me the option to, I guess, like, I would say bury my baby, but I guess do something with it. I don't know. Y'all, that night, everything was just like boom, 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 boom for me. Like, I didn't even have time to process anything. So I was like, no, you know, I could just, you know, just let y'all, you know what I'm saying, just do that, because I'm already dealing with a lot over here. So, hold on, y'all. So, yeah, so where I left off at, first off, let me tell y'all what an ectopic pregnancy is, for those who don't know. An ectopic pregnancy is also called extraordinary pregnancy, is when a fertilized egg grows outside a woman's uterus somewhere else in their belly. It can cause life-threatening bleeding and needs medical care right away. The egg implants in a fallopian tube. This is called a tubal pregnancy. So that's pretty much what was happening. And I'll put up a little picture to give y'all an example of what the baby looked like in my tube, y'all. I googled it last night because, like I said, I didn't have time to process none of this. I didn't even want to research, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do none of that. I barely even wanted, like, my mom asked me how far along I was, and I didn't even know how far along, and I didn't want to know. But she asked them, and then she ended up telling me the next day after I had got out of surgery. Well, a couple of hours after I got out of surgery, and she ended up telling me. And last night, I Googled, like, because I was 7 weeks pregnant. So I Googled what the baby looked like in my fallopian tube around that time. And y'all, they were scary to look at. Because it's like, I had a whole baby in me. And there was no way that I could save it. I was a whole month and some weeks pregnant. So, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna put up a picture of what the baby looked like in my tube. So, yeah, they ended up seeing like bleeding in my stomach and stuff. So that's why I had to have the surgery. And I was in real bad pain down there. So, yeah, they washed me up or whatever. Oh gosh, they gave me some anesthesia. Oh, I said it right. They gave me some anesthesia. They was real nice. Like, I loved them. They really taught me through what they was going to do, you know, so I just won't be blindsided. But yeah, so yeah, I didn't know. I didn't feel anything. Like, they put me, all I know is them wheeling me down the hall, and we made it to the room. Then it was like, oh, we're gonna put this in your arm. And then after that, I was like knocked out. And then I woke up in the room, and my mom was like, she was talking to me. She was like, hey, mom, baby. And I'm like, that's it. It felt quick, but I'm sure it wasn't quick. But like I say, like, I was put asleep. So, but yeah, so after that, that happened. So I pretty much had the surgery. I went in the hospital at 7 o'clock that night. Got transferred to another hospital around like 10, I think 10 or 11, and I didn't have the surgery till probably like midnight. So that they said I should be healed, or like it should be like about a week. I should start feeling, you know what I'm saying, a little better. I'm still trying to take it easy over here. Yesterday I tried to drive to Walmart. I couldn't drive. I couldn't even get out the damn apartment complex, and I just broke down. So my little sister had to drive for me. I'm so glad I'm so glad her and Tony was there. And I know I'm not the only one that's going through this, so that's why I wanted to sit down and do this video, because I know it's somebody out there who done went through it. Like, I want to know, how are y'all getting through it? How did you get through it? You know, and then especially if it's your first pregnancy. Like, this was my first time ever getting pregnant, guys, and I'm 28. This is my first time ever. So they ended up taking out my, I feel like I'm everywhere, I'm sorry y'all, because it was so much. So they ended up taking out my left fallopian tube, and I got 3 incisions. I have one in my belly button, one like diagonal from it, and then like one like, but like on my vagina, like right there. I'll probably show y'all. I'm slowly but surely, I think I'm making progress and stuff. I know it's TMI, but I've been able to kind of like, you know, pee on my own, because at first after the surgery, the lady had to turn on the water for me to urinate. It's like, I know I had to pee, but I guess my body, you know, had to like readjust and all this, that, and the third. So now, you know, I'm able to pee. I'm spotting a little bit, which is normal, because after they got done with the surgery, I woke up, child, I had on these little boy short things and a pad on, so it was a little bleeding there. Not in my incisions, but from my vaginal. So yeah, I'm bleeding like a little bit, but not too much, not too crazy to where I have to be worried. So yeah, y'all, I just want to get on here and share my story, my experience about that. I prayed last night and asked God to help me move forward with this, because this is going to be tough for me. This is really, like, I really broke down last night, and yeah, I had to calm down. Even in the hospital, my mama and Tony was looking at my blood pressure, and it was just like elevating, and they was just rubbing my shoulders like, you need to calm down, you need to calm down. I'm like, y'all, I'm trying, but this is painful. This is painful, you know. I appreciate the kind words from those who do know. I haven't told everybody, because, you know, like I said, I was still processing it and dealing with it myself. We was dealing with it ourselves. But yeah, just please pray for me that I could just keep moving forward. Oh, and I know somebody's going to ask, because I know people have been asking, will I be able to get pregnant again? Yes, but it can also happen again, so that's another scary thing. But I'm not even worried about that right now. I'm just still trying to heal and process, and, you know, just take it day by day at this point. That's all I can do. I think that's all I wanted to talk about. So I'm finished to show you my scars right there. So there's 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, I'm trying to remain positive, keep my head up, not trying to, you know, run myself crazy. But everybody around me is keeping me, you know, uplifted, keeping me in good spirits, you know, keeping me calm. And, you know, I'm very grateful for them. I really am. I'm grateful for all the help that I've been getting, all the calls and texts. Like, I appreciate every last one of you guys, because y'all don't know, like, that means a lot to me. That meant a lot to me. Yeah, I'll see y'all later. Bye. I'm gonna go lay back down.